within the home staging industry and anybody who's interested in the industry and our sister industries as well, to talk about success and challenges we might have and provide you with great information, great interviews and topics that hopefully help you thrive and grow. And this talk show is brought to you by the International Association of Home Staging Professionals, IAHSP, which I'm the chairwoman of. So thank you all for tuning in. We've got a great show for you today. And before we get started with our guests, I do want to make some announcements. So first of all, our theme for the next series of shows is going to be positive encouragement. Will be part of every segment, talking about stories. What are you guys doing to stay positive and uplifted? Hearing from people who can give us tips on not going down in the dumps, because it is a challenge. It seems like every week is dragging by. I think Kevin Tain posted that, weekends don't seem like weekends anymore because we're just not doing anything during the week, really, as far as like work. So we want to remain positive and encourage. And I love this quote: fear has two meanings: forget everything and run, FEAR, or face everything and rise. And the choice is yours. The choice is ours. The choice is mine. So we do need to make a choice to stay positive, because this is a temporary situation. I know it's uncertain for a lot of people. We're, in the midst of it. A lot of people have been unable to work for quite some time. My state in particular just shut down the real estate side about a week and a half ago. So up to that point, we were still able to go out there and stage and so forth. And so I know a lot of people are in fear. You're scared. You're concerned about, what's going to happen when this is all over. Will you still have a business, whether you're a restaurant owner, or a small business owner, or a larger company? How will this all play out? And none of us are fortune tellers. We can't predict the future. So the main thing is to not go into the fear box, because then you just want to run away and you're going to hide versus being productive. Good morning, everybody. Hi, Jill. Hey, Betty. So I want to hear from those of you guys that are tuning in too. What are you doing to stay positive? We're going to talk about that. I do want to make some other announcements. Of course, we do have our conferences. So our conference is kind of taking on a whole new meaning. It will be truly a celebration of the industry. It'll be your chance to see everybody in person. Other conferences have had to opt to do virtual, which means they're not going to see anybody in person. So our conference, the plan is still to move ahead. Of course, we'll continue to monitor what's happening with everything, but it's not till the end of September. And so it will be a true celebration of our industry, which it always is, with the education, the collaboration, our vendor expo, the ability to see colleagues and so forth. And our first real opportunity to see everybody in person, hopefully, and be able to give hugs and be around each other. And our awards dinner, which will be on Sunday, the 27th, it's the Roaring 2020s theme. And we picked that because of the year. Well, sort of, when you think about it, prohibition was 1920. And 100 years later, here we are, locked down again, restricted in our lives. And so the Roaring 2020s takes on a whole new meaning of the freedom to be back, living our lives, and to celebrate and have fun again, and bring back the joy that we have for what we do and how we help our clients. And so tickets are on sale right now. We'll be looking at continuing to look at the health situation and so forth. And of course, won't put anybody in jeopardy. If it comes down to where it still is not safe to hold a large event with hundreds of people, then we'll make that determination. But all signs are pointing to the fact that it should be fine. Good news with the whole virus situation. I'll point out, like Seattle, where it all started. They put the Superdome, they put all those hospital beds in there, and you know what? Not even one of them was used, not one. And Denver here, they were putting together makeshift hospital beds in our convention center, and now they have all the infrastructure and so forth, and the frames for the beds, and it looks like that's not going to be used either. So the prediction that we're going to have all these people get sick hasn't come true, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing. And so a lot of the people who are making predictions first swung to 2 million people are going to die, and now that's been corrected down way down to 60,000 or less, which is still significant. However, it's not really much more than other illnesses like the flu. This is still very serious. You want to make sure you're doing the social distancing. However, the good news is that a lot of the predictions that struck fear in the hearts of a lot of us in business and in America and all over the world haven't come to pass. And so that's a good thing. It's not a judgment on one side or the other, but anytime you hear somebody predicting, they don't know. I mean, they're basing it on what they think they know, but then the fact is that it doesn't pan out that way. So that actually is a positive. um, Portugal, of course, is postponed until May 2021. Those of you that do have hotel reservations, those will be moved for you at no additional cost, of course. And then the conference will take place May 2021. We don't have the exact dates yet, but we'll get those to you. And so I know everybody over in Europe, we're thinking about you, and I'm hoping that you're getting the release to go back to your lives very soon. So we have more time to plan for that, which will be good. And when you think about our conference, we have our 3 keynote speakers we've confirmed. Business keynote is Chris Widener, who of course is a best-selling author. He has 21 books he's written, is a top 50 in the world for motivational speakers. And that was a ranking, that was professionally done. So we're really excited to have him with us. He'll be talking about The Art of Influence, which is his book, and I have it here. And his books are not, they're my kind of book. They're not this big, thick novel that's really hard to read, or a big, intense textbook. It's more of like stories that inspire, but talk about, resonate with us as far as what we need to be doing. He also wrote The 12 Pillars. A lot of people know that book. And then, of course, Johnny Fowler, who we're going to have on the show soon. He will be our marketing keynote. And he is very, very knowledgeable about what it takes to be successful with Facebook marketing, in particular, Instagram, how to bypass some of the algorithms and restrictions that they have on business owners or just people who are posting, and tips to get the best exposure. So his session will be really good. And then, of course, Ravi Huti Singh will be our keynote for our designation, which is the IAHSP CDE, Cultural Diversity Expert. So he'll be sharing on that, and he's a cultural catalyst. You can find out more about all these speakers on our site. We're also officially announced JoAnne Lenart-Weary and Sandra Racz, who are here with us this morning. They'll be speaking in a joint session on a stiletto approach to trends with the work boot mindset, which I love that topic. And then Renee Helton, we also confirmed, will be speaking on a discovery session about your personality and you, and how to work with your clients and build your team. And Discovery, DISC, everybody who attends our conference will do a DISC analysis that then we'll be able to share with you. What does that even mean? And how do you apply that in your business? And so I'm excited for that session. The rest of you who have applied for speaking, of course, we're mulling over the lineup and so forth, and I'll be sharing information with those of you that have submitted, whether or not you've been accepted as a speaker. So I appreciate your patience on that. After the conference, of course, we have our advanced stager training, which will be September 28th and 29th. And both Chris Widener and Johnny Fowler will be sharing at the advanced stager training, in addition to their keynote sessions at our general conference. So those of you that are 6-figure and above stagers now, or you're getting there, and by the time conference rolls around, you're at that level, you can attend the advanced stager training. It's a separate ticket registration. And then we'll be having these 2 expert speakers sharing with us, as well as all the other people that will be sharing to help advance our businesses. And we learn so much from each other with this workshop, so I'm really happy to be hosting it for the 3rd year. So while you're at home and you're wondering, like, what can I do to advance my skills, there's some education you can get. IHOS does have these 3 designations. And so the luxury home staging specialist, that's about a 3.5 to 4 hour webinar you can watch. And then you would have to turn in your 3 luxury projects to get the certified logo, but that would be knowledge you can learn about how to penetrate and to get into that market for staging. You have your buyer trends specialist, and I'll be re-reporting that one. Anybody who's taken that in the past, once we do re-release that, you'll all be sent the link to watch it if you want to, the new version. But that one helps us on understanding what we should be doing as stagers to target buyers when we stage a property, and also help to educate our clients about why we are targeting the buyer, and it's not all about the seller, even though they might be paying for it, and to gear everything towards the buyer. So we talk about demographics, we talk about trends for design and colors and so forth. We talk about styles of properties, what does that mean? And we talk terminology as well. So it's a really, really good course, and it's again a webinar. Then we have the Investor Staging Consultant, the ISC, that was our most recent one. That takes you through the mindset of the investor, how to get those projects, pricing, trends, and even short-term rental options. And then we'll be having Amy Powers on our show next week along with another special guest we'll announce at the end. And so she'll be sharing about a webinar she's developed specifically for short-term and vacation rental properties that we're going to be partnering with her on releasing. And so those of you that have taken the ISC, at the end it says for additional information on this specific market niche, fill out this form. And so hopefully we've been collecting your names, and we'll let you know when that webinar is available. And Amy has just completed it, so I'm excited to be able to provide that to our industry members, and so you can get some additional knowledge on how to add that to your business or refine it if you're already offering it. So I want to make sure you can all see me, right, before I start blabbing along. Make sure, okay, good. I talked for 20 minutes before people told me they couldn't see me. So here Jill Ackerman is saying, I'm learning e-design software, and I think this will become more common, especially in Canada. One of my agents is interested in being involved in some sort of special program. Great. So Jill says their liquor stores are considered essential services. Isn't that funny? And I know probably all over the country and other countries as well. So that, the grocery stores are still open. So liquor stores, of course, are open. In Colorado, we don't have any chains, so they're all little mom and pops. So those small business owners are still able to thrive because people are going and buying alcohol, and I'm sure their business is way up. And the thing that Colorado kept open were all the marijuana dispensaries. And so I know medicinal is still open. I don't know if rec is, but anyhow, people, I mean, the day that they announced that, there was like lines like you saw in the supermarkets for people to get into the dispensaries. And so people are smoking and drinking and getting high to cope with the situation. I'm not here to judge. I mean, whatever you need to get through, I just want to make sure that we're productive, because if that's all anyone's doing during the day, it's a really, really long week and a month if that's all anyone's doing. So today and for the rest of the time until this is lifted and maybe even beyond, we want to talk about being positive and encouraging, and what can we do now to position ourselves for when this is all over. And so I did print up a couple articles. I just wanted to give a couple little tidbits on these. 10 tips to raise your spirits during this time. And so I took this from Brian Robinson. It's a contributor on careers. And so one of the tips he says is your perspective is your most valuable power tool during challenging times. So it's our perspective or our attitude which will get us through. When you look for the upside in a downside situation and figure out what you can control and what you can't, it's easier to accept whatever's beyond your control. And that's super important. In our classes we teach, there's a saying, focus first on the only thing over which I have absolute control, myself. And so, and that's a Wayne Dyer quote. That's super important as a foundation, because there's a lot of this that is we can't control. We can control where we go. We can control putting a mask on. We can control washing our hands and so forth. But, we cannot control where this thing goes. And so when we try to do that, we get ourselves all worked up. And I just want to say this on Facebook. Again, I think last week I said this, be kind. I see a lot of people that you're scared, and this is transmitting into people being mean online, attacking people, calling people names for their opinions. It's also a political year. It's an election year. Great. So we've got these two things, these two factors, which are making some people really go to the dark side and become really nasty towards each other. And we're colleagues. We're in this together. We're humans, and it's okay if people don't agree. I want the attacks to stop, and people, be kind. There's a way to disagree with somebody that doesn't result in you unfriending them or attacking them for their position on something. And that's, allowing somebody to have their beliefs is important. And I'm not saying nobody's done that to me, but I have been watching. I've seen some of my colleagues where they're really getting into it online. I'm just going to say this. When was the last time anybody changed their mind about who they liked or didn't like in the political sphere because of Facebook? When was the last time that happened? I'll tell you when. Never. Zero. So everybody likes to get in debates and so forth, and maybe that's what you're doing with your time. It's not productive. Your friends and your colleagues and people that we should be in this together, stronger together. I hate that hashtag alone together. That's a terrible hashtag. I don't know if the rest of you guys on this thing agree, but we're not alone. We have each other, even though we're not physically maybe together, and I understand what that thing means, but we're stronger together. And so please don't go after your colleagues on social media and use this time to destroy and divide. We need to be more united and encourage each other. So your perspective You can't control a lot of things out there. You can't control other people and what they think. So why even bother, right? Your negativity bias. So there's another thing he says, the more you focus on a negative situation or sensation, such as pain, fear, or frustrating obstacles, the worse it nibbles away at you. When the mind is focused on lack, it ruminates on fear. We operate from a position of loss and discontent and experience more lack. So it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, and it continues to feed the cycle. So you got to get out of it. Pessimism is a perspective that can sneak up on any of us at any time. If you're like most people, you've had knee-jerk reactions that you were unaware of in the moment, and then you have to kind of assess that. Science reveals the secret mojo. So if you're, we can always change our perspective in a situation. The way you think about your circumstances makes all the difference in your mood, health, and success, even longevity. One way to own your power is to perform acts of kindness for someone else. And I know there's already people that are in our industry and beyond. They're shopping for their neighbors who can't get out. They're doing something for somebody else. It could be as, I mean, back in the day, like you're going through the Starbucks line, you buy the coffee for the person behind you, kind of like pay it forward. Find out how you can do an act of kindness for somebody else, whether it's a physical act of kindness, or it's even just sending somebody an encouraging word. Our colleagues over in Europe, they need to hear from us. So message our colleagues that have been locked down now for going on two months or more. Their countries are smaller than ours, and it's really, really difficult for them. So just send them a message, reach out to them and say, hey, I was thinking about you. How are you doing? And then, engage. If they write back and say, I'm really struggling, it's been really hard, to go, okay, great, talk to you later. I mean, be in it for the conversation. If they really need to chat with somebody, reach out to them. And anybody here too, if you're alone, I know, like Lisa Zebra, I don't know if you know, she's watching. There are stagers, for example, she doesn't have anybody that she's living with. And so she did write on Facebook that she was struggling. And so being able to reach out to somebody and encourage them to then reach out to other colleagues, even though you might be isolated in your home. Gosh, there's social media. You can FaceTime somebody. You can do Skype or whatever method. Zoom, I know, is very popular. I just learned that Zoom is owned by the Chinese, though, and so just be really careful, because there's been a lot of hacking into the Zoom calls. Just as a total aside, so any information you're putting in there could be at risk. So just be careful. Optimists are realists who take positive steps to cope with obstacles instead of succumbing to them. And so, when faced with a challenge, my first response usually is, how can I fix this? How can I get through this? What do I need to do? And so I'm more like action oriented, like, solution. I'm not going to wallow and sit back here and go in a hole and get all depressed. It's just not my personality or my temperament. But optimism literally expands your peripheral vision, so you see more possibilities and solutions to problems, than pessimism, which limits our outlook. And so depending on your temperament, which of course, we're all created in wonderful ways, and you are how you are, and I am how I am. If you tend to be a little bit more pessimistic, this is a time where that can really pull you down. So you may have to work extra hard to find the silver lining in things versus, the negative side of things and getting depressed or scared. And there's, ways to stack the cards in your favor. You have a choice of how to perceive and respond to a challenge. And optimism is always present, even under the direst pressures. You can start to focus your mind more on the possible big picture aspects of situations and build on them. So in other words, you can expand your lizard's brain constrictive zoom lens, where they're just like this, into a wide angle lens, creating a perspective that broadens your range of visions. Scientists call this tool broaden and build, which allows you to see more possibilities, options, and choices, and to take information to free you from your mind's constriction. So broaden your scope, dwell on personal resources, learn how resilient you really are, be chancy. I like that. Stick your neck out, take a chance, do something different. Engage your tall comings instead of your shortcomings, right? Tall comings, self-compassion, and positive self-talk. So be kind to ourselves. Don't be so hard on ourselves if things aren't going as planned. Gives ourselves grace. Avoid blowing situations out of proportion. Don't let one negative experience ruin your whole outlook. Underscore the upside of a downside situation, which I love. Pay attention to the upbeat news wrapped around downbeat news. And Many people are going to catch COVID-19 because many people will contract the virus and many people will get better too. And, our media, they do what they do. Negative news sells. We all know this. Negative outweighs positive a lot of times as far as attracting attention. And in this situation, we hear a lot of the negative, all the people who are dying and getting sick and all the scary part of it. What I'm not hearing a lot of is all the people who've recovered. And I had a colleague that posted over 340,000 or 300,000 people have recovered. That's huge. That's huge. Why aren't we hearing more of that? So John Krasinski, of course, has a show. I think it's called TGN, The Good News or something. And I just caught one episode of that. But, we need more of that. We need more positive and encouraging stories, not just all the doom and gloom. So another lady says, practice gratefulness. Wake up every day and be grateful for something in your life that maybe somebody else doesn't have, or that you woke up at all, because there are a lot of people who are just in general, they don't have an opportunity to wake up. Start your day with a positivity routine. So what does that mean? Don't reach for your phone to check the news as soon as you wake up or while you're still in bed. Take a few minutes to find yourself and smile. You'd be surprised at how incredibly powerful in the morning a smile can be in helping you start your day on a positive note. It takes, I think, what did they say? It takes more muscles to frown than it does to smile. So start off with a positive note, whether it's a daily devotion or a Bible quote or something else that you decide to read. But please don't check the news first thing in the morning, because it is just a lot of negative. Slow down. Don't rush into things, including any conclusions about information you're getting from the news or things you're hearing from family and friends. Relax your body. Check in on your muscles regularly. And if you're tensing up in your jaw, your shoulders, or if you're frowning, breathe and relax. So get in the habit of doing quick body scans throughout the day. She also recommends exercising. So if you can get outside and take a walk, do that, or just even walk around your house or apartment or condo. Create and nurture your digital community. So we are a community. Just because we're all practicing social distancing, it doesn't mean we can't stay in touch with our family and friends. Thanks to all the communication technology, most of us in the industrialized world have access to doing video calls and jumping into group chats. So check in with your friends to make sure they're okay. Practice diaphragmatic breathing. So instead of breathing from here, you're breathing from your diaphragm, real deep breathing, and that helps to do relaxation. Incorporate humor into your day. So hopefully today we'll have some things to make you laugh. You have to keep perspective. I mean, even yesterday, I don't know if I can find it on my phone. Some of the memes that are out there about people social distancing and so forth. So my husband sent this to me and my niece. Oh my God, I just cracked up laughing because it was just this person's solution to how he can do social distancing at a Home Depot. Can you guys all see that? He has pool noodles. He had to engineer that. So he's got this hat that has those pool noodles sticking out, and that's his way to keep his distance from other people. And it just is sort of funny. I mean, it's kind of ingenious, but it's like I would never wear that thing. But I thought it just made me laugh. So you have to find the humor, find something funny, and then walk away from distressful conversations and situations, even on social media. If there's something that's being said, and I mean, there's been times I start typing and I thought, I'm not going to post this because what good will it do? Nothing. So I just delete it and I just scroll on because I can find lots of other things to engage in that are encouraging or positive. And then have faith. And it's not necessarily religious faith, although if you're a faith-based person, you can draw from your belief system. Talk about have faith in humanity and science and technology and our healthcare heroes, in collaboration, in the good in people, in our resilience and our perseverance, in our ability to overcome even the most outrageous of obstacles to grow and evolve, in our future, and our constant and mutual commitment to improve ourselves and our communities, in our kindness, in our empathy, in our desire to provide a good life for ourselves and our loved ones, and never giving up until we find the right permanent solution to bring this virus to heal, meaning to the end. In life after this and everything else, we will have learned after all of this is done, believe in yourself and in your endless capacity to love. So I love those tips. I found them online, and I think it's something that we all need to think about as this continues on. There's hope at the end of the tunnel. Our government is, hopefully helping out financially. Some of us have applied for loans. We're not hearing about that. That can be frustrating. And yet that's out of our control, a lot of it. So we do our part, and then it's got to keep moving forward. So this is a great time to plan for your success. And if there's one thing I've learned, and we've taught our students this for years, is to have a service that is done that you can earn money from that is outside the resale market as a stager. So it's not tied to homes that are for sale. And those people that have those in place, they're earning money right now. And those people that don't, they're thinking like, oh, crud, I don't have that in place. And now is the time to make that happen. And so today, I'm excited that we have Maddamma. I love saying your last name. I don't know if I said that right, but it's almost like a thing that goes forward and backwards. What is that called? I have to look it up. The thing that's spelled Anna's palindrome. A palindrome, right? It's spelled forward and backwards. But she's from Sherwin Williams, and she's going to be sharing with us some things that they have. Of course, our members get up to 57% off on paint and supplies. So we get a minimum of 30, which is the deepest discount of any industry association. It's 5% more than anybody else. Minimum 30, up to 57% off, which is huge. And so you're watching this and you're an IAHSP member, you do get that discount. So make sure that you're, sharing that with your clients. And we love Sherwin Williams. And then we have JoAnne Lenart-Weary and Sandra Racz, who are going to talk about a new course that they have just unveiled that's very exciting. And it's, again, a service niche thing that we can provide that is outside of the resale market. So it's all about color and design. And so they'll be sharing on that. But first, I'm going to bring up Anna. So Anna, I'm going to click on you, and it gives you a countdown. Hello, good morning.
Hi, how are you? How's everyone doing?
Good. Pretty good. So tell everybody who you are.
So I am Maddamma. I am with the Sherwin Williams Company. I actually have been with Sherwin for nearly 14 years in several different roles. I've been in the residential marketing design account executive role here in the Central Florida area for about 4 years. So I enjoy this role. I actually met Jenny previously when it was held in Fort Lauderdale. I was assisting with
2017. Yeah, it was with Jeff.
Yeah, it's been a minute. But I'm really thankful that I can be here and support everyone. And as a DAE, or design account executive, we provide color tools, product resources, specifications, Sherwin Williams resources, anything that you really need from making your life easier when you're in the field and supporting you and your clients from your day-to-day activity, and to streamline some of your efforts. And also, like, during this time, I know a lot has changed. So we do want to let you know that we are here to support you. So if you need assistance finding your local design account executive, I will post my contact information, and you can feel free to reach out to me, and I can connect you with whom your local is. So don't worry, we'll help you out. So
you have three things over today. What do you want me to put up first? Sorry? You have 3 different handouts, so which one should I show first?
You can go with the one that has the color chips on it.
I love that.
Yeah.
So the color chip, this is very cool. So explain that tool. It's an awesome tool.
Okay, so there's a couple of tools that we have available on the virtual level. So I wanted to speak a little bit about our stores and availabilities. Due to the conditions that we mentioned earlier, we have changed some of our times in regards to servicing our clients. So we have phone-in ordering, and we also have online ordering. So you still have access to getting supplies that you need. We do offer curbside pickup and delivery. So we are in business still. You do want to check our platform, the sherwinwilliams.com, to find your local location to ensure that certain times for certain areas are still available. I know that New York is facing quite a bit, so I think they have some modifications there. So keep in mind that we do have some access points where you can find store locators on our main website. So in addition to that, we have additional tools that we have available for designers, specifiers, and architects, in addition to all consumers due to the situation that we're facing. So we have a platform for all consumers where you can go on and order free color samples. So you'll see that this particular platform, you have available the 2x3 cards that you would see in your store free. and that's on the swcolorchips.com. But for designers, specifiers, and architects, we have one directly related for you, and that's on the mysw.com platform. So here you're able to access multiple resources. You can access color tools. So what you see here is a virtual color wall, and we have a visualizer tool that allows you to have access to literally every color. It's pretty awesome. So if you haven't taken a look at that yet, I advise you to. So it's a digital color wall. So you can zoom in and you can see the rooms and etc. So there are virtual tools available. So if you need to streamline some of your efforts there, that's available. And also when you're in the mysw.com site, that allows you to order free color samples, and you'll have 4x4 swatches, 5x8, and 8x11 that are free to you. And also there's additional resources if you need to look at product information, if you need to find inspiration, if you want to look at continuing education courses and additional things that you would need to utilize maybe during this downtime now that you have extra time.
Exactly.
So the platform is nice. I would definitely dive into that. So
I love this because these are for those people who are watching, you know, Sherwin Williams, these are actually paint tint. It's not just you know, RGYK or whatever, the like a toner. This is actually pigment on their, even the pages that come to you are pigment. So it's actually
so the color number that you're specifying is actually, if you were to zoom in on that particular screen there, and on the visualizer tool, you'll have the capabilities of expanding into that. So it'll show you color number. And as you dive deeper, it does provide, we do have downloadable palettes in that mysw.com. So we can find, if you're looking at those values, like you mentioned, if you don't have an actual color name, we can find something that's closest to you if you have the measurement of it. But these are actually named and numbered colors. So they are what you find in our Color Snap Studio. And what I'll mention later, our new Emerald Designer Edition, and we have 200 new colors in that collection. So that will also be added into our visualizer. So from that palette and into a secondary palette that we just recently launched. So in addition to the MySW platform, you have also the capabilities of specifying if you need a certain product. We have those promotions that Jenny had mentioned. And also, if you ever need assistance with specifications, you can reach out to your local design account executive. If you have inquiries in regards to that, reach out to me first, and then I can find who that is if you don't know who it is. So leverage the resource here, and you can also find, if you're working on color selections for certain market segments, say if it's in addition to residential and you're doing maybe a multifamily or whatnot, we also have palettes that are pre-assembled for you, so it can streamline your coordinating efforts and save you some time there. So you'll see that in the marketing colors, it's the little box on the left-hand side, and then you'll see ordering color samples. And also we're on social sites as well, so you can follow SW Design Pros, which we're on like Instagram, which is one of my favorites. You can post your projects. You can hashtag SW Color Love. So we love seeing what our specifiers, stagers, designers, architects are doing. And that, you know, it's beneficial for everyone. And you can see what everybody is literally doing in the nation and worldwide. So you get to see some of the trends that we incorporate in some of our color forecasting events. So if you have anything that you guys are proud of and you have it professionally photographed, you can share that with us, and we can send that into our marketing team, and we can share that on our professional sites, which is awesome. Yeah.
And then we have, this is the new, let me get rid of this one. Let me pull this one down. So this is the new Emerald line. So talk about this, and then talk about.
Oh yeah, I'm really excited about this. So we recently just launched this in April, and it's really exciting. So the Emerald Designer Edition and the color collection was developed for for our design industry. And we listened to what was requested, and we were excited to fulfill those gaps in color and product and et cetera that was wanted and needed. So for the Emerald Designer Edition, it provides an ultra premium level performance and 200 new hues, which are offered exclusively in this particular product. So if you're speccing a color from that palette, ensure that you have to use the Emerald Designer Edition. So there are some cleaner bases that were developed, and it allows us to produce these cleaner colors. So you're going to see a flawless result and our best hide yet in this particular product. So some performance features, you're gonna see application, exceptional hide, stain blocking, resistant to water splatters, washability, just a really beautiful finish. And also the 200 new colors, which I'm really excited about, the designer color collection. It's divided into 5 palettes, which you'll see at the bottom of the screen is form and function, minimal and modern, warm and welcoming, rustic and refined, classic collected. So these 5 palettes have 40 hues within, and they're organized by color temperature. So you're gonna see warm neutrals, cool neutrals, soft blues and greens, natural neutrals, soft shades, and statement hues. So we also have an exclusive website for this particular product and color collection. And I'll also note that in the comment section so everybody can have access to that. Because I figured, you know, stating the whole site might be difficult.
Right.
So I'm really, really excited. And also these particular 5 palettes, we do have color resources available. So if you are interested in those, again, send me an email and I will forward it along to your local design account executive, and we can get those on order for you. So it's really, really exciting. In addition to that too, we can offer virtual presentation in regards to this product. I held one yesterday, and it dives a little deeper into the performance characteristics and into each color palette. And we have some beautiful videos that accompany that presentation. So if you guys are interested in a 30-minute video on the product and some details of it, just again, reach out to me. I'll post my email address in the comments and we'll get something organized.
Or even if that's recorded, if you send that to us at IAHSP, we can then send it out. We can post it on our site. We can post it to our pages too, so people get the information. And then is there a separate fan deck for this collection, or is it just online?
So that will be launched a little later. So what we have first are the 5 brochures, which have each palette has the 40 hues in there. So we're starting with that. The store is geared up and ready for the product. And you also can go on the visualizer tool and have access to that and sample ordering on the sites that I had mentioned. So you can go to mysw.com and have access to that as a professional. And then, yes, in the near future, we will have Handex.
Well, and I'll go on. So people who are watching, I'll go on, I'll grab the flyers, I'll put them on our sites and make them available too. So that, because we want to get the information out. I love that they've kind of curated this line, and I always recommend Emerald to my clients anyway, because they're, you know, there's the contractor grade, and usually it's like one coat coverage, but oftentimes the painters, they pick that because it might be, you know, less expensive, but there's also the thing that it might take them twice as long to paint over second coat. So the client's really not saving any money because the labor is more, and the product material, you have to buy more material. So if you use a line like this, it's much better coverage. It's a better quality paint. And does it come in all the different sheens, or is it just one?
So you're going to have your flat finish, your satin finish, and your gloss finish.
Oh, okay, cool. And this the flat is not it's the flat, not the matte.
Yeah, flat, which is a little bit duller than the matte.
Okay, cool.
So keep in mind, you can tint the color snap colors that you're currently specifying in this product if you wanted that upgrade. And do keep in mind that the 200 new hues have to be tinted in this particular product. So that's, want to be clear on that with your clients as well. So we also have additional, like you said, utilize your savings that you have through the organization that you can leverage this particular product when necessary.
Yeah, absolutely.
And in this instance, we can guide you on, you know, particular products to spec in certain spaces, so room by room design if necessary.
Excellent, excellent. So I'm excited. So I appreciate you joining us today, and it's a nice segue into our next two guests who are coming on to talk about color. And of course, JoAnne Lenart-Weary uses the Sherwin Williams line in her classes, and probably knows it very intimately. So I'm excited to hear her perspective. They'll be teaching this course that, those of us that are watching, color is one of those things. If you're a color specialist, being able to advise on color, you don't have to be selling a house. And in fact, how many homeowners are sitting at home right now with their mess, or they want to redo something? It's just right for the picking for people to be able to walk into that space as an expert and get some knowledge. So thank you, Anna. I'm going to go ahead and bring Anna up. You have a great rest of your week. Thanks for joining us.
Have a great day as well. Thank you.
Bye. Bring in JoAnne and Sandra. Good morning.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
The hair.
okay, let me do mine.
We're all missing our hair. Look at my poor fingers. It's sad. My nails are going.
I know. It's bad. I do need to put on some lipstick because I couldn't see myself in the little thing. I need a haircut. I need my hair colored. Speaking of color, could Sherwin Williams put on a new edition of paint colors that we could be using right now?
Right, exactly.
Well, thank you, Jenny, for inviting us. Sandra and I are delighted to be here. And in regards to your previous guest, I just did a seminar yesterday and was talking about take advantage of these Sherwin Williams, these big 8x10 samples too. And Sandra and I carry these on a ring, with our curated whites and our grays, our neutrals, the easy colors, and by having this big finish or this big size, it really helps you to see the color a little more effectively. And as she said, I love the fact that these are actually done with pigments. So it is not ink on there. So you're going to get a fairly accurate, and obviously every wall is going to impact, but I love me some Sherwin Williams. So this is going to be great. And I look forward to checking out this new line. Sandra, you look lovely today, as always.
Thank you.
I'm going to throw this up just to show this. So this is the new course they've developed. It's called Color and Design Principles for Stagers, what every stager needs to know about color and design. And so excited because we've been talking about doing this, and so you haven't finished. And woohoo! So let's talk about what is this all about, and how did you come up with it, and what can we expect when we take the class, and how can we take the class, all that good information. And I'll be sharing this. I'll post this logo, the promo thing on our site so people will have it, because I know it's tiny for a lot of people, but it's an online class. And I can't receive modules, handouts, forms, plus bonus seminar, mixing patterns with confidence. And the website is color. I actually copied it, so I'm going to put it right here. So this is the website to find out more about this course. Let's talk about what this is all about and why, especially right now and moving into the future. I don't want any stager ever to get caught with the proverbial pants down without being able to make money. And we have to have something that we do that is outside of the resale market. And this is perfect. Plus it's fun. I mean, some people are like, well, would you think about doing cleaning services? I could clean houses. I don't want to clean. I don't want to be, that's what doesn't interest me, but this does. This is fun. It's right up our wheelhouse. Sandra, I don't feel like this is my hair too, so I can look like you too.
The more I try to fix it, the worse it's getting. Well, basically, this. Just call me yourself. Okay, so this is why Sandra and I have a group called the Real. Yeah, this is why we have a group called the Real Decorators and Stagers, because we girls are real. That's all there is to it. Essentially, what we find, and so often people will post on Facebook or the different threads and say, hey, here's a new room that I did. And let's be honest, you take your staging training, and there is so much that we need to pack into their brains. And so the design aspect of it gets neglected some. Now, we've listened to people for years, staging is not design, blah, blah, blah. But you got to know how to make a room look good. And, we both kept commenting on the fact that these poor people are just working on what they think is good design, what they've been exposed. So we set out to develop this class that will arm you with enough information that you can utilize, because if you know the guidelines, then every one of your rooms is going to look fabulous. Sandra?
Yeah, I mean, guys, it's just education. And the more we know, and if you have a rule, like I'm a rule girl, just tell me how to hang that picture and that's where it'll go. Or tell me how much space that it needs to take up and that's what I'll do. So what is really cool about this class is we started out with the design principles that we all need to know. I mean, even, you know, whether you're decorating, but especially in our staging, because that I think gets lost. So by knowing, I mean, let's just take one, balance, you know, just balancing that room, or emphasis, like we want to get to that view that, you know, or showcase the perceived space in that room. And if we can do that as stagers using, you know, color, texture, pattern, line, all those things that you'll learn, then it just gives you that knowledge and you don't have to spend all this time standing back and going, okay, does this look good or not? So we really did break it down. I mean, they're in bite-sized pieces. There's 10 modules. We've got great handouts, kind of just, of course, Sherwin Williams. We use Sherwin Williams and give you some curated colors. And let's just take color for a minute. We cringe when we hear there's only 5 whites to use. Okay, right. No. I mean, that just cheats our expertise and, you know, limits our credibility. So that's kind of what we set out to do with this class, is to arm you with that foundation and then build upon it. Like, how do you take these design principles and then make them practical? How can you, you know, we've got one chapter on creativity, you know, some solutions for you. And at the end, it's about validating the value in that space and also validating you as that stager. We want you to be that go-to person. And, right. You know, during this time, trying to stay positive. I mean, first of all, who could not smile when we're listening, you know, to Jenny and, you know, it's just contagious. So taking advantage of this opportunity to get educated and being around positive people. And I got to tell you, it's such a breath when you can stand back and go, okay, I did that seamlessly. So I think you guys are going to love it if we do say so ourselves.
Yes, we do say so ourselves. So as Sandra says, it's 10 modules. Each module is somewhere between 35 and 50 minutes, depending on the module. We threw in a bonus. There are a series of handouts or support forms that are in there. The class would be, you know, our original goal was to teach it live, and it would be a day class, so it would have been $649. We're doing it for $299 through this time. And thank you, IAHSP, for encouraging us to move forward with this. But, you know, again, I just think it's so important if you understand when someone says to me, oh my God, I spent, you know, 2 days staging a house. It's like, no, you should pre-plan it. And we talk about that in the space, how to pre-plan it so you get there and you can work fast, fluidly, and efficiently. And as Sandra says, we have always endorsed the fact that you should have 3 revenue streams. And I think of it much like color ratio, 60, 30, 10. So staging may be your 60, 30 may be color or decorating consultations, and maybe your 10 is seasonal decorating. You know, find 3 ways that you can fall back on. And while you're off right now, don't sit there and go, oh my God, I can't do anything. We're having great fun doing e-consultations. And we even have a challenge going. Jenny, you hopped onto that challenge. And what we're encouraging you to do is just post on your social media, say, hey, I'm giving away 1 complimentary e-consultation this week. We're calling it the Real Room Makeover. E-makeover. I drew my first winner last Friday. I met with her yesterday on Zoom. We had the best time. We laughed. We each had a glass of wine and walked through her house and focused on one area, picked out paint colors, fabrics for her windows. It was really very thorough. Rearranged her room. whatever your expertise is, try doing something like that so that the world still knows that you exist. And if you don't have 3 revenue streams, get creative. What can you do? Jill talked about taking the e-design class, and there's the guest that you need to have on, Jenny. You need to have Jenny from eDesign Tribe on here. But eDesign has become so big, and there's so many ways that you can do it. So when we talk about e-staging, we're not talking about staging to replace what we do physically, but we're talking about ways to supplement what we're doing to take you to another level. And we talk about some of those things within our class as well.
Which is great. So this will give fundamentals and great information for us to apply. And then, so somebody that is still feel like, I don't really feel 100% confident to go into someone's house and tell them what to do. And we've talked about this, that like, I know what I like, but I don't want to impose what I like on what someone else likes. So how do you figure out what they like? And the whole process of, when they say, what colors do you like? And they say blue, like what shades of blue? So that all that information is included in the other online courses that you have, correct?
Correct.
So let's talk about those too, because I think, we're all sitting at home. Anything you do to advance your education, it is a tax write-off because it's for your business, education, and a service you're adding. But, but now is the time to do that, because I don't want any of us ever to have to go there's already somebody posting, how many of you are going to have to, sell off your inventory because you don't have any place to put it because their warehouses are too stuffed and go out of business. And I'm like, hang in there. This is a temporary situation. Right. So find
it is. It is. And, face it, we've been at home. All of us are looking around our homes that seemed just fine when we were living our busy, hectic lives. But now you look around and go, holy crap, this room really needs painted. I better order some paint from Sherwin Williams. So we are all going to be very busy. So be open to other revenue streams when you do this. And in regards to the confidence that you have, and can I give the information, a couple of things that Sandra and I always tell our students is never say, I think you should put the sofa over here. If you arm yourself with these solid design principles, like we talk about in the class, then you can say, Mary, let's put the sofa over here, and this is why. So understand the why. You will look more knowledgeable, and you're going to feel more confident. And trust me, every job you do, you'll get better. Every consultation you do, you'll get better. But most importantly, you don't need to have the answers on the spot. If you're on a job or a consultation and you say, oh my God, I don't know what to do here or what I suggest, then you just say to the client, and I have done this myself, even after 40 some years in the business, you know what, Mary, I want to just percolate on this one a little bit. So I'm going to call you back tomorrow. Now, those of you listening, you run home and you send an email to Sandra and I and say, what the heck am I supposed to do? And we'll help you out with that. So don't feel that you need to know all the answers. And I think that allows you the freedom to expand on what you are doing.
And I was even thinking we could have a Facebook group for the class, but I think better, people should make sure that you're part of this the Real Decorators and Stagers group.
Yes, the Real Decorators and Stagers group. And if you want to do it, yeah.
So if you have that group, you have to.
Yeah, join us in the Real Decorators and Stagers. Every Wednesday night, Sandra and I do some song and dance at 7:00 Eastern time. But actually, I like your idea of having a separate group for this class, and I think we should do that, Sandra. Sandra's going, oh God, JoAnne.
Add my 27 Facebook pages and groups.
Listen to me. During this time, and you have, this opportunity to learn to your own self, be true what you can manage. and I have to share this because when you're talking about sitting back, looking at your own house, I turn around and my husband is literally painting the interior of our home the exact same color. I'm like, did it need it? He goes, it could always use a little spruce up. Next day, I hear him sawing in the garage, and we're chopping down the workbench. I'm like, do we have a plan? I mean, it's like we're just, he's doing something. So during this time, have a plan of what your weakness is. If you feel confident about, let's say you feel confident about a color, but you struggle with, exactly which accessories or artwork and where to place them, how to really showcase what you're selling in staging, then focus on that. And we do have a little bit of all of that in the book, but I do think just continuing to learn and hanging out with positive people and, people that, are honest with you too. I mean, that's why JoAnne and I really got into the Real Decorators, because you don't have to be mean. And I do love what you said, Jenny, because if you're mean on Facebook, then you're not as open-minded with your clients. You will have a tendency to roll your eyes if they say something ridiculous, like I have a client and she always wants to ask her colorblind husband what he thinks about the color. So I'm like, okay, he's colorblind, remember?
Yeah.
So anyway,
colors.
Yeah.
Well,
So, yeah.
And even these things like someone will post, we already had the whole debate on rug gate, where it's like what size rug should be in a house for staging. And I'm like, I use 8x10s, we use 5x7s. A house is never not sold because I used a 5x7. And until that day comes and a buyer walks in and says, I'm not going to buy this house because that rug is a 5x7 and not an 8x10, those will continue to be used. And so then this week it was the karate chop on the pillow. Who karate chops and who doesn't, like this big judging, like if you karate chop.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh my God, again, that's not a reason a house ruler won't sell. It's just a personal preference. People get so judgy if people do it. Yeah. And you're like, oh my God, I just chopped the pillow. I'm like, oh my God, it just, find something else to focus on. It just makes me laugh,
We do espouse an 8x10, but we used to suggest a 5x8. But the difference is in the rooms anymore that frequently have wood, tile, or LVT in them, there's more of an acoustic value. So that's why we're suggesting the larger rug. But by God, if you still have 5x8s in your inventory and they're in good shape, you're going to lay down a 5x8. So absolutely. And yes, when people get so radical about things, it's like, oh my God, is that all you have going on in your world? Truly.
Well, we used to say judgmental, go work at the soup kitchen. It's like do something for somebody else, which I have to say is I love the challenge that we did because, we're a big proponent of not giving away free services. And, just because we're not, a horrible, time that we've never been in, this is a great way for you to still market yourself and do something good for somebody. And it's just a win. I mean, it feels good. You've done something to lift spirits and you still haven't set a precedent that might be hard, to, overcome at the end. Oh gosh, you were doing consultations for nothing, kind of thing. So this is a good way. We want you to jump in there and showcase your skills.
I've been thinking light bulb just went on too. We have that contest out there, but I think what I'm going to do is send it out to my real estate agent clients who use me and say, we'll do a drawing. Somebody gets the free one room makeover as a way to, as like a thank you, because oftentimes there isn't, outside of doing a fabulous job, there really isn't a way that we thank our clients. But how uplifting it is for anybody just to be able to experience that transformation. And then of course, they can hire you for the rest of the house as they have money and time to get that done. And so it's a win-win. And it's also elevating our industry that we are giving back. It's not just me, money grubbing, take in. It's like, what can we do to help other people with our gift, our talents, and make their space better? And I was talking to a friend yesterday, and he was sharing that he's concerned about people that are, stuck at home and, if you can't get your hair done and your nails done, and which makes us feel good, you can't go get a massage. And so what are we doing for ourselves to make ourselves feel good? Well, we can hopefully change our environment to make ourselves feel better. And if that person doesn't know how to do that themselves, then they need an expert. And that's where we come in. So,
And I'm sorry, Sandra, go ahead.
No, I was just going to throw this out because I almost forgot it. I love what JoAnne said about the 60-30-10. That's one of the reasons that we are given this really nice, price point for this class, so that we want you to take advantage of it if you want to. But then for those, let's say 10% services, we put the certified online classes half off at the DSA. So now would be your time if you want to learn seasonal decorating, like we said, you can, there's lots of different seasons that you can, use that skill, but if you want to focus on that at the holidays. So, take advantage of that because that's for a limited time too. So it's online and the certification classes.
This is the DSA.com or the.
You'll go, and the code is Open House 2020. All, no space, no caps. Open House 2020, and it's online classes.
All caps or no caps?
No caps.
Okay,
no caps. Excuse me. That's it. Perfect. And if you put one thing in the cart, you have to apply the code to each one.
Okay. Promotional incentives. Okay. And then here is, just in case people don't know, JoAnne's company too. Here's the JLW company here. So do you have things on your site too, JoAnne, that are on special?
The Confident Color System, the online class is normally $9.50, and we have put it at $5.95. And they can go to confidentcolorsystem.com to find out more about that class. So I just want to say the class that Sandra and I created, we do spend 2 modules on color, but it is not a deep dive into color like we do in our in the typical 2-day class. So if you want a deeper dive into color, you might consider adding the color class, whether it's now or down the road when you start making money again. But really, what we really want you doing is, take your thumb out of your mouth, put your blankie down, and do things that get you going again. And, my mother has always called me Pollyanna because it takes a lot to knock me off my feet. I rarely get depressed. I pride myself on it. But I had a day the other day that I just thought, I just want to cry. I want to hug people, and I want to drink wine with someone. I want to drink too much, and I don't even drink wine, but I'm going to now. I just, for all of us, just this lack of interaction and touching people on the shoulder and that kind of stuff can be hard. So we just need to do things that put ourselves out there. I'm going to start a thing just for fun that I'm going to start, just ask a decorator. One day a week, I'm going to go on my Facebook page and people can just come on a Facebook Live and ask a question. So get in front of your clients now and your future clients. Don't let them forget you. Be daring. And look at me. I mean, the gray hair, the bangs are too long. I'm here, the eye bags. I mean, look at those eye bags. Oh my God. But it doesn't matter. People want what's here in your brain. So share it with them. Give people a reason to laugh and look around their house with new eyes. I've rearranged so many rooms in the last 3 weeks via Facebook Live or FaceTime and Zoom from friends who are like, I can't take this room another moment. So get out there and get in front of people.
Absolutely. Get up there. Yeah. And so the class, the link is posted online, and any other tips, just like switching gears a little bit. What are you guys doing besides drinking wine and I'm making a joke, but what are you doing to stay positive? Her soda. Yeah.
This is my hard stuff I'm hitting.
And I got my coffee. I've never drunk so much coffee in my life.
I'm going to send JoAnne a text when this is over because she's not supposed to be drinking that.
Yes.
I had literally redone my closet. I ordered hangers online so that I could have them matching, and my family thinks I've lost my mind. I printed out labels for my dividers in my refrigerator that says breakfast, so we
all feel like right now
for the Betty Ford Center or something.
I need something in my house because I have my life. I have all 4 kids that are here back. One of them isn't quite back, but all the stuff that was in the house, it's all piled into a bedroom, so you can't even walk in that bedroom. I have my office is like We have the one kid backed my car out and hit another car that was parked behind in the garage. I got this big on the side of my car. I'm like, we've had a fun week.
Well, I am still, and I'm sure there's a lot of us out there like me. I have a 3 and 6-year-old granddaughters with me quite often because their dad is in one of the essential businesses, so he is still working, but all the daycares are closed and everything. So on days that I'm feeling a little low, there's nothing like a 3-year-old looking at you and saying, "Grandma, you're the best." I mean, and today, the 6-year-old Adelina, we were trying to do some schoolwork online, and she just had a meltdown and was like, "I miss my friends. I miss my teachers." So, this is all of us. We want to make sure what we are setting for our kids because they're watching. 3-year-old Paisley said, "I hate coronavirus." And when you hear that come out of a 3-year-old's mouth, it's like, all right, we're talking about it way too much. So look for things to bring you joy. I love what you said, Jenny, about reading some books. Sandra will have the best closet in America. And the other thing we did the other day with the 2 little girls is we went online and we learned some magic tricks. And so we were doing simple little magic tricks with the girls. So just try to take the time to put down your DAMN phone. I know I'm not allowed to swear with Jenny. Set down your phone and just engage with one another. That's what we need to do.
Absolutely. And so I love you guys. I appreciate you being on. I'm excited for the class. Everybody get registered for it. It is a special price for IAHSP members. And I'm excited. So use your time productive. Netflix, everybody was talking about Tiger King. I'm not going to get sucked into that. It's like, that's not going to bring you any more business in the future. All you realize it's from what I've heard that there's some really awful people out in the world.
Yes.
And they can use a makeover too.
Yes. Belgravia. Has anyone watched Belgravia? It's the new Downton Abbey, and the first one just launched. If you like English historical kind of dramas, you'll love it. I was captivated with it.
Transports you to another time. Sometimes you just need to escape.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, we'll do it on our Netflix. We'll watch, some of their programs. But I would just caution everybody, don't look at the news as much because it's every day. It seems like it's shifting. Do what you can to protect yourself. Stay safe, but stay connected through social media, through chatting. Reach out to your colleagues, one-on-one because they need to hear from us. And I can't wait till I can hug everybody in person. Yeah. So we're just, say some good prayers and hopes for the conference in September that we'll be well through this by then, and that will be happening. And we're going to be excited because it'll be the largest live home staging event of the year at this point. So we're excited to be able to hopefully be able to bring that to the industry and just have a really great time and learn. So, and you guys will be, of course, sharing your stiletto approach to design trends with a work boot mindset. So I love that. So it's not just the information, it's the application. So, right?
Yeah. Who knew that would be such a great title? Because if you've been in business more than, 3 years, you've had some up and downs and some challenges and things that's totally out of your control. So this work boot mindset has really come into play. We're going to have a lot of stuff to pull from, aren't we, JoAnne?
Right. Yes, definitely.
Awesome. Well, thanks, you guys. Stay healthy. Any last words?
No, we're looking forward to seeing you in October.
Yep, absolutely.
And check out coloranddesignforstagers.com for more information on the class. And again, hop on and join us on our Real Decorators and Stagers Facebook group. And love to everybody.
So Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern time, they go live. And then everybody who's watching, if you share this out to your followers and so forth, and other groups that you belong to, take the segment, share it so we reach as many people as possible. I also did want to give a plug for Joseph Hecker asked me to share something. He's doing a live, he does a live, almost like a QVC thing that he's doing. And I had it pulled up. And so I think today is the last day to apply. If you have somebody who has a product or service that they need to get out to the public, and right now their stores are closed or what have you, it's a great way to do that. And I'm clarifying with him whether we can even provide education or opportunities through that channel as well, because they've got a huge reach right now with their programming. So make sure to tune into that and to support that, and then we'll find out how we can also piggyback on that exposure as well. So thanks everybody. We'll see you next week. Next week we'll have Amy Powers and Scott Hansen out of Chicago. He was our keynote speaker in Charlotte, the Scott brothers. He'll be coming on talking about, he's a business coach, business success entrepreneur, as a podcast and an author. So I specifically reached out to him because I know he'll have some really great positive things to share about how to make it through in business right now, moving into the future. So thanks everybody. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye you guys. Love you.
Bye. Love ya.